Hi, good evening. In this video, I would like to show you how to implement continuous deployment for Laravel project with tool called deployer and web server called Nginx Unit. So what is deployer? So deployer is a tool to interact with the VPS, virtual private server, via the code program PHP. So two things that I like from deployer. First one is zero downtime. Zero downtime means it doesn't interrupt the existing deployment until the deployment process is success. If it doesn't success, then the existing deployment will not get interruption. And also the second is recipes. So deployer have a lot of recipes like Laravel, Symfony, WordPress, and so on. So how I will do the implementation of continuous deployment in Laravel project besides of deployer and also another web server called Nginx Unit, which is the new web server that developed by Nginx. So usually when we deploy Laravel project or PHP project, we use Nginx plus PHP FPM, fast process management, if I'm not wrong. But right now there's a Nginx Unit, which is you just need Nginx Unit itself without additional PHP FPM extension. In this project, I will use the Infra code talker. This is my cookbook for deploy project in various platform. Infra code talker stands for infrastructure as a code talker. So in this guideline or cookbook, I have the Nginx unit that I deploy into VPS in the DigitalOcean, this is not a non-container. I will not use Docker here, so it makes you understand what's going on without additional knowledge of container. So this is the brief instruction, and then you must run these steps as a root user or user with sudo access, and this section will give you software installation like PHP, Nginx Unit, Postgres, or Redis. Redis is optional. Postgres acting as the database. Actually, we can use MySQL or MariaDB, but I choose PostgreSQL right now. And we will use DigitalOcean to create a droplet using the latest Ubuntu LTS. So you may choose between the $6 droplet or $12 droplet. In this video, I would like to choose $6 droplet, which is more than enough for this showcase. Let's use this link. This link is a referral link, which is give you a $200 free credit for 60 days if you are the first time have the account into DigitalOcean. Okay, let's open this link. So you will earn $200 credit, and then if you spend $25 after your credit expired, then whoever refer you, which is me, will also get $25 credit. So it's a mutual symbolism. Let's get started. And then we create a droplet here. I will choose the nearest region, which is Singapore, near with my region. And then I will choose 2404. And then I will choose regular SSD with $6. I will use SSH key rather than password. So each time I interacting with the VPS via my personal computer, it will be ask for SSH private key behind the scene. So I don't need to prompt my password each time I want to go into the VPS. And then hostname, I will keep it simple in this video. And then I will create a droplet here. It takes a time, so please be patient with me. I hope it doesn't take a long time here if you're watching this video. We will get the 1 GB RAM and then 1 GB virtual CPU and then 25 GB SSD and 1000 GB transfer bandwidth, which is cool. Okay, it's finished. So we have the public IP here, and then I will open into the new tab. I will type SSH root at this IP. So in the first time you interact with the VPS, it will ask, is this the thing that you are known? If so, type yes, which is it will store a fingerprint. So next time if I'm interacting with the VPS for the second and the third and so on, it just log in. So I will type yes, this is just for the first time, and then it's finished. And then let's go to the next tab, which is once droplet created, create a record by using public IP, which is this one, the public IP here, and then put it into DNS. I'm using Cloudflare DNS here, and it will tell us that we will use the name of the domain as a hostname into deploy.php file, which is here or later on. Okay, let's go into the Cloudflare. I am using Cloudflare to manage my DNS. I go to DNS record. I add record here. I type Laravel, which will give me a subdomain laravel.senku.stream. The IP address, which is this one. I will close duplicated tab here, and then I will skip proxy into DNS because I just want to direct into a DNS. I don't need proxy. Okay, it's finished. And then our next step, which is step third, put the setup.sh into root directory in the droplet and make it executable. Okay, first I will go to this one, and then I will copy raw of file, and then I will create a file called v-setup.sh. Anyway, v here stands for theme, which is I'm interacting with theme text editor. So you may choose nano, but I will use theme here. I will enter, and then here we are. If I want to insert the content here, I must press the I keyboard for insert here, and then I copy paste it here and so on, and then I will quit with :WQ, $WQ, which is write and quit. Oops, sorry. I escape first to remove the insert notation, and then I will use the :WQ, just like so. And then what are these setup.sh? What are the content of this file? So this file will install PHP with PHP extensions, and then install Nginx Unit, and then install Composer, create the var www directory, install Postgres, configure Postgres SQL database, install Redis as optional, and then install certbot for Let's Encrypt HTTPS, and then install ACL, create a user called deployer, configure deployer sudo, create SSH key pair, and then display SSH info. So you want to make it executable, I will type mode plus x setup.sh, and then I just run setup.sh. Okay, so it will give me error missing the requirement argument, which is db name, db user, and db password. So this command expect me to put these parameters like this. So I just run setup.sh, and then db name Laravel production, and then db user Laravel app, db pass, which is Laravel 321. That's it. So if you want to use Redis, you just add the with Redis here, which is optional. Before it launch the execution, it will give us the summary, the configuration, and so on. I will just press Y here. So it will take a time. I will not edit this video. I will keep it raw so we can see what's going on here. First one, it install PHP with PHP extensions. So it depends on internet connection, so please be patient. Okay, almost done. The next thing, install Nginx Unit. Okay, I add additional configuration like modify Nginx Unit, so any user besides root can execute the Nginx Unit socket like deployer, but the others cannot do that. Okay, this one, install PostgreSQL. Yep, it already set up the database configuration. Next one, install certbot, which is for let's encrypt. Next, install ACL, stands for access control list. So usually we can use chmod, but ACL is more powerful level, so I will choose that. So I get this thing from deploy.org, so I will choose that. Okay, everything is good. All installation summary is done, included SSH pair key pair for generated private key here, and then host key for SSH non-host. So it's time my runner, which is GitLab runner, interacting with the VPS, they communicate each other, so it let me into the VPS by using these two keys. Okay, let's follow the guide here. After setup SSH execute, it will generate SSH private key and SSH non-host. These are used for gitlab-ci.yd. Store it into gitlab-ci.yd variables. Okay, how to store it? So let's go to the settings, and then we go to CI/CD here. Oh, anyway, I have set up the Laravel project here. And then let's choose add variable, and then, excuse me, I'll remove it a little bit. I will choose visible. Yes, it is protected variable, so I don't need this one. SSH private key, and then the value goes here. Let's copy this one, paste it, and then save it, and then let's create another value called ssh non-host. This one I will copy this, the below, and then paste it and add variable, and then we are done right now. Let's go into the readme section. There's a warning. You may modify the value of SSH host from public IP into a domain. Otherwise, the deployment process will give error message host key verification failed. Okay, so I will let it like that until we understand what's going on, and we must change it. Okay, prepare Laravel project, which is I already done, and then install deployer tool and create initial deployment deploy.php file here. I will skip here right now, exit, and then install the deployer package. Okay, it finished, and then I will replace content of initial deploy.php with specific Laravel deployment setup deploy.php in this repository. Okay, here we are. We are here, and then let's copy the raw file, and then we go to deploy.php, and then I paste it. As you can see here, we have the deploy.php that I modified. So what is going on in this deploy.php? First, it has rsync script, which is this is a mechanism, the code from GitLab pulled down into the VPS. So we are not using git pull. I want to take advantage of rsync instead of using git. And then next one is Laravel. I'm using Laravel absolutely in this project, so I put the recipes Laravel from deploy.org. And then the config, I set the application with the value laravel.sendCode.stream, which is the setup DNS record that we defined in the previous step. And then I keep releases into 5 release. So each time I'm using deployer tool, the deployer will create a folder inside the folder called releases folder, like this one, releases, and then release number 1, release number 2, release number 3, release number 4, release number 5. So these folders trigger each time I do git push or merge request or anything like that. Yeah, let's say updating code into git. And then after the release 5, which is release 6, the release number 1, the oldest one, will be removed. If the 7, then you will know the release number 2 will remove, and so on. For HTTP user and group, I'm using unit. So this value comes from Nginx Unit itself. And then you should also check the setup.hh for more detail what's going on. If you are confused, you may comment into my YouTube channel, or maybe you can give me an issue for question and answer. I will glad if I can help your problem, as long as with this topic, right? Okay, so next one is rsync source. So this means their value means the source of rsync comes from gitlab-ci.yd build, which is assumed that this deploy.php file is in the project root. Yeah, it is. Okay, so the host, I set the host here, which is called the Laravel sendCode.stream, which is the name of Laravel server, the name of the server. So this is important, the host name. I may choose IP address, either public or private, or maybe I can use host name or subdomain, yeah, which is Laravel sendCode.stream. So, and then the remote user, which is deployer, which I defined in the previous step using setup.sh. Deploy path I defined in var www/html. This is the secret. I create secret using gitlab-ci.yd. I create the variable called .env, and then after that I upload it into directory share inside this one, html/share, and then it will create a .env file. So let's add the additional variable called .env visible, okay, .env, and then put the .env here. I will paste it, and then I will replace with production because we want to make it real. Debug is false. I don't want to show any mess up in the production, and then https Laravel senku.stream. Okay, that's it. I add variable and then done. Okay, so it is finished. Let's go into the deploy.php again. So next one is create a well-known acme challenge folder for let's encrypt SSL certification. This used for HTTPS protocol. You will see it later. And then it will next task. Anyway, these are tasks we can define by ourselves beside deployer provided by us. This is apply config. So it will check if there is application called Laravel in Nginx Unit, then skip the configuration. Otherwise, we must update the configuration, like putting the unit HTTP JSON, which is this file already defined in the setup.sh, which you can see it later on. Okay, so next is unit reload, which is it will reload the service application Laravel in Nginx Unit without interrupting the existing server. This is useful each time we already apply our code program, so the unit Nginx will acknowledge that, oh, there's a update for, so each time code program deploy, we must tell Nginx Unit to reload this applications Laravel control API. Yeah. If not, it will not be changed. Next one is I disable task called deploy update code. Why? Because I'm using rsync here. If I'm using update code, then it will be use git pull. Next, this is a list of deploy task here, which is mixing with the artisan, which is, if you know, it comes from Laravel. I step from prepare, secrets, and then install vendor, install composer, which is composer already set up in the setup.sh in the VPS, and then create admin challenge, artisan, and then I publish the deploy, and then apply config, and then reload the configuration. Okay, so next one, if anything failed, then keep using the previous deployment, which is unlock the previous deployment. If everything is good, then lock the deployment, the old deployment, and use the newest one. Okay, next we are going to the another readme. Yep, step 5 we are finished, and then we create a gitlab-ci.yml, and yes, and we use gitlab-ci.yml in this repository. Yeah, we copy this one, we create gitlab-ci.yml. Oh, excuse me, here we are. So gitlab-ci.yml is the special file that will trigger GitLab to run CI/CD. it has one stage called deploy. So deploy has image called docker image deploy.php slash deployer version 7, which is provided by deployer. And then before we execute this script, which is dep deploy with verbose option, we set the SSH directory inside this docker image, and then put SSH host, and then set up the private key and so on. This one, resource group, we want to make sure that the process is synchronous and not jumping and so on, if I'm not wrong. And then only is a keyword that only run this CI/CD in main branch, which is here. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So I will commit CI/CD initial deployment, and then I start seeing changes. I hope everything runs well here. Okay, yep. Let's see what's going on in the menu build pipelines. Oh, it takes long. What's going on here? I'm sorry if my internet connection is too slow right now. Let me check. Is this work? I will refresh the page. Yep, everything is good. I think the problem comes from the GitLab itself. So I will, yep, open again. Yeah, we get an error here, initial deployment. Why? If we check, aha, host key verification failed. Why? Because in CI/CD, if you remember in the previous README step here, we must use the value of domain, not the public IP. Why? Because in deploy.php, we define here hostname equals the subdomain, not the public IP. So actually, if you want to generate this information, you may run ssh key scan the subdomain, and then I grab ssh ad25519, and then it will give me the same value except for this file, except for the value in the left. And then we are going to ssh host, and then we see this value is same as this one, and then just replace this value with this one. Yeah, this value replace with this. Save change, all's good. And then let's run the build pipelines, and then we are trying to retry or fail or cancel job. Okay, it waiting, and then let's see what's going on after that. So because I'm using the free GitLab runner that provided by GitLab, so it runs with the standard speed. So please patient with me. Thank you. Okay, the log comes in. Let's see what's next. It download the dependencies, and then generate optimize auto load. Okay, let's see what's next. Artisan cache, config cache, and then artisan migrate. Yep, and then unit reload. Yeah, everything runs good. So we can access the domain into laravel.senku.stream. Excuse me, so I'm not sure, I don't think this one, but laravel.senku.stream. I think not HTTPS, but HTTP. I will give laravel.senku.stream. Let me check what's going on here. Yep, already good. Let's check the, I'm not using but HTTP. Yeah, here we go. We have the page that we deploy into VPS using deployer, using Nginx Unit, and voila, this is our domain. Yay! But we are not done yet. Will make this thing secure using HTTPS. So let's go to the next tab. Before we do that, I will give you reminder again. Each time you deploy using deployer, it will create a folder inside releases folder. Okay, like initial deployment, create folder 1, and then create symbolic link with the current folder. Oh, if you're curious, I will stop this, and then let's go inside the server, and then we are going to cd var html. Let's see the inside folder. So here's the default structure that provided by deployer, current, releases, and share, and also .deb. So the releases will sync link with the current. So here is the releases, this one, and then each time create the another deployment, the release folder number 2 will be linked with the current folder. Okay, so that's it. Let's create a certificate as a deployer user. So I will switch into deployer user by using sudo min u deployer min s. And then I will execute this command. Certbot cert only la la la, and then here we go. Okay, so permission deny for let's encrypt. So let's check why it doesn't work. I will tell min f tmp cert but lock. Okay, permission denied. Okay. So let me copy this one, and then I will ask a GPT, our friend GPT. Why I cannot execute the certbot command as non-root user? But if GPT give me a lot of instruction that I don't like it, so I will using the root user, right? Okay. Okay, I think configuration la 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 la. Okay, let's try this approach. Let's quit and then paste it here. Yep, it will create. So requesting certificate is done. It will be saved in this directory called certbot config. Here we are. And then let's go to the next readme, which is anyway, there's a tip here. You may replace the Laravel senku.stream with the actual domain. And then you can create a certificate bundle with a name bundle into home deploy directory. So let's do that by typing the first one is full chain, and then the second one is private key. Okay, so cat home deployer set bot config live Laravel sync stream full chain spam, and then next one is home again deployer set bot config live Laravel sync stream with kpm, and then we go to home deployer bundle.pem. This is it. As you can see, there's a bundle pem here. We will use this along with the file call unit https json file. Okay, so next one, before we execute this line, I will show you what's going on in the unit https .json file by running cat unit https.json. So what is this? So this is like the nginx.conf, like regular nginx if you are interacting with the nginx and php fem, but this one you are interacting with the json file right now. So we put a listener here, which is the port 80, which is default port for http, and then for port 443 for https. So for port 80, it will pass into routes redirect, which is matched with this notation, and then also it has routes Laravel for 443. Here we are. This notation as this is. You can read it again, and then we are focusing in this section. So for applications Laravel, it has root call for www.html current public for where's the index.php file, which is inside the public. And then the user and group is deployer, because if you see the directory infra www.html, it takes care by deployer user group here. Okay, and then that's it. After that, I will execute this one by using curl nginx put data binary at unit https json unix socket run control unit sock http localhost config / boom. Certificate bundle does not found. Why? Let me check my note here. Text edit. Oh, I must add wait, hold on. Oh, I must apply the certificate bundle first by add the curl nginx put data binary. I will increase the font so we can see it together. Data binary at bundle.pem, and then unix socket, and then run control unit sock, and then http localhost certificates, sorry, I cannot type, bundle. Okay, so based on the name here, excuse me, enter certificate chain upload, and then let's run again for the previous command. Here we are. Reconfiguration done. Yay! Let's the moment of truth. Open again Laravel.sendCoString. Yeah, this is it. Everything using HTTPS protocol. If I open the new private window, I type Laravel, Laravel.sendCoString. Yep, we have HTTPS protocol. Yay, we are done. But we are not done yet. I will give you additional example here by create a test connection with database because we previously create a database, right? So I will create a route get help db with function. We create try catch try with db get pdo, and then if everything is good, then I will echo database, I think, if I'm not wrong. Let me check my snippets. I have a snippets here, so I don't want to waste my time and your time here. Routes, and then web, and then let's copy this one. Hop. Okay, everything is good. I will import the log. Yep. And then what's going next? Yeah, that's it. We'll put the web here, and then let's call it fit at help check db. Okay, using change. First of all, I will exit first. Let's deployment process again. Oh, not this one, but this one, sorry. Yeah, this one. And then build pipelines, and then running. Oh, I can hide sidebar here. Oh, well, I just know. Okay, let's be patient here. Before the closing, let's see the result. I wish everything runs well here. Yep, done. Acme challenge already created. Storage link finish. Optimize finish. And then done. Migrate done. Symlink done. Deploy success. Apply config. Unit reload. Yep, everything is runs well. Let's check the moment of truth by running laravel.sendCoString. It's still same, but let's check. Is that route called helpdb? Yes, of course. It's already successful connected to. Okay, because I'm using SQLite, I need to adjust CI/CD here. So let's adjust the variable here. I will replace it with this one, PUSQL, db host, db port 54332, sorry. Database is Laravel production, and then db username is Laravel app. Laravel, the password is Laravel321, and then save it. All is good, and then let's get build pipelines by create a new pipeline because we want to deploy again. Sorry, I take your time a little bit. Oh, my time too. Let's deploy. Okay, it takes a lot of time. Please be patient with me. This is the last momentum before we are going to the closing video. Yep. Okay, it run. We are into optimize section, symlink, reload. Okay, yep, done. Let's refresh again. Yeah, successful connect to Laravel production Postgre. Yay, we are done. So in the summary, what's going on here? First, we have the Laravel code base. Okay, and then we are going to git push here into GitLab, and then in GitLab it has a runner. It triggers GitLab runner. Let's call this GitLab runner, and then into runner it open connection to my droplet or VPS. Okay, so the first one, this is I doing git push, and then in the GitLab it trigger runner by using gitlab-ci.yml, and then in GitLab runner it deploy into droplet VPS, and the code program from Laravel code base pull down into this VPS. So if we see together once again, we access its root, and then if we see cd far it's table by u html, you will see we have 3 release based on these pipelines. Here we are. Okay, if we check releases again, we have 3 folders right now. If more than 5, then the one will be cut off. Okay, that's a long of time. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you get a knowledge from this video. All the link I will put in the description. If you have the question, feel free to ask in the comment, or you can put a GitHub issue. I hope I can answer your question. Bye-bye.